everyone, and welcome to One Movie Too Many. I am your host, Zach, and today I have my lovely co-host with me right now, right here, during the quarantine, shelter in place.
Yeah, we're social gathering.
This is, well, to be fair, we're also social distancing as well. We're not all huddled up close.
I mean, I can touch you right now.
Anyway, it is both Hal, say hi.
Yeah, that's me.
And Mike, also.
Hey, you got the title right.
Yeah, we got the title right. We got the intro. It's an intro. We'll work on it.
Speaking of quarantines, Parasite.
Parasite. There's a quarantine in there, in that movie. So, before we jump right into what we'll be talking about, what is the One Too Many Movie Podcast? Well, One Movie Too Many Podcast is simply...
It's movie death battle.
Yeah, movie death battle.
Two movies come in, one movie leaves. Which one's the better one? It's pretty obvious.
It's pretty obvious. It's David and Goliath, and one clearly is David. Right?
Did David have a last name?
No.
Do you know who also didn't have any last names?
Who?
The cast of second movie besides Parasite in this death battle.
Yeah, so this death battle is between the Parasite and The Room.
The Parasite.
The Parasite and
Oscar,
The Room.
Oscar award-winning Parasite from South Korea. I was going to pull up the director's name.
Yeah, you should pull up the director's name.
I'm sorry. Do you have the director's name?
I don't. I wanted to take
think
notes.
so.
I wanted to take notes before this.
But did you?
I didn't, because you said let's just record.
Listen, the only real director to pay attention to in this death battle is Tommy Wiseau.
Tommy Wiseau.
Bong Joon-ho.
Bong Joon-ho, if we're saying that right. No, we're trying out here.
We're trying.
We don't speak Korean, so...
No. But anyway, yeah, it's a discussion between the two movies of Parasite, Oscar award-winning Parasite, and The Room.
There's that.
Yeah. Didn't the Parasite?
Is it just Parasite?
It's just Parasite.
Okay, I fucked that up. That's my bad.
Yeah, it's just Parasite. Didn't Parasite win like 3 Oscars?
Something like that.
It did really well, and there is a underlying theme that coalesces around both The Room and Parasite, and we'll get into that after we sort of do a blow-by-blow in review of, Parasite, and then comparing it to The Room and what we like and what we dislike about it. I'm going to pass the baton to Mike, and just sort of, what exactly did you really, really like about Parasite? Just to get into it real quick.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to pin it down for me. Like pacing, soundtrack's amazing.
The soundtrack's really good, yeah. I think the director, that's his whole deal, is when I was looking at other people's reviews of the Parasite, other people who've done like video essays and stuff on it, they talk about how you can really see how he paces a movie using music and like a tempo of some kind. And it's really very Kubrick-esque, right?
Yeah, Kubrick-esque.
Yeah,
sure.
is how it's been described to me. I just wanted to make sure I was saying his name rather the right way. Kubrick, Stanley Kubrick. Kubrick.
Also, Parasite won 4 Oscars: Best Picture, Best Original Screenplay, Best Director, and Best Foreign Language Film.
Wow, that's...
Isn't it weird that foreign language film is its own category? It's
yeah,
like, you're a good movie, but you're not
foreign.
from America.
Yeah, that's a little weird. I am glad they won those other 3 Oscars, rightfully so. I think the pacing, like you said, was really good. Did you see do you remember any of the symbolism, or like did you like any of the, I felt like there's a lot of things about the symbolism and like how realistic it was in regards to how poor people live.
Yeah, definitely a lot of symbolism, especially like around the wealth rock called Dwayne.
We'll call him Dwayne for this exercise.
Listen, I just needed to get that joke in there.
Get that
joke in there. But yeah, there's a lot of...
Spoiler.
Yeah, there's a lot of symbolism around the wealth rock, like especially, it's given to the poor. It's given to the family.
Right.
The poor.
Given
This
to
is kind of
poor
the only
family.
thing that they have. It's supposed to bring wealth,
Right.
and it's just the only thing it gets used for is to bash in the main character's skull in.
Yeah.
And also,
The orchestrator, the main character, also the son of the poor family, is sort of the orchestrator of the whole plot that happens and takes place in the movie. Side note, spoilers. Major spoilers, so just so you know, that's what's happening. It's a complete review. The movie's been out for several months. It's on Amazon Prime. So,
we'll probably record a little something before this and be like,
hey, don't...
spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. Well, yeah, it's fine.
But also, a little side note before we move on to Hal. In the scene where the apartment is flooding,
Mm-hmm.
rocks floating on the water.
Yeah, there's some rocks that float.
Wealth floats above it.
Yeah.
Because when the rainstorm was coming down, you know who wasn't suffering? The rich family.
Yeah. That's another piece of symbolism that may not have been intentional, may have been intentional.
Could also be magic.
Could also be magic, right?
Just the magic rock.
So yeah, there's some very powerful messages behind this movie, and we can just go ahead and...
Also, I know I said I was gonna let you go on, but comedy, very pretty. It's
Yeah,
pretty,
very
It
good.
It hits pretty consistently.
Yeah, the comedy's actually pretty good, and we all watch anime and stuff, so there is some comedy in anime that just doesn't land whatsoever unless you're in the in-group of watching anime. And I'm glad that there was comedy that was sort of more Korean focused, but was, because of the quality of the writing, it still landed with people who weren't from South Korea or didn't have any really cultural background like us.
Yeah,
So that was kind of cool.
And even the director, Bong
Joon-ho.
Yeah,
Bong Joon-ho.
him.
Mr. Ho.
For sure.
For sure.
He one of his inspirations, if I remember correctly, was Quentin Tarantino. You can definitely see that in this movie.
Absolutely, and you'll see. I think you can probably see that throughout all his work. I can't wait to watch more movies from him. This is sort of his breaking out movie into mainstream Western film.
He did
right?
make Snowpiercer.
He makes
And Snowpiercer was relatively popular among
It seemed kind of cult.
It
Classic.
is probably more among the movie folks.
Yeah, the movie
know?
folks, the movie goers and film lovers.
But it had Captain America in it.
Yeah,
So there you go.
Chris Evans, my boy.
Yeah. So if you talked about Parasite, does that mean my segment's all going to be about the room?
No, we can.
Well, I
Hop
don't have
in
stuff to
between.
say about the room. No.
Yeah, go. You have things to say about the room?
No.
No.
Well, I do, but
we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we're talking about the comedy, right?
Right.
I think I've noticed in a lot of Korean movies I've seen, not that I'm an expert on them by any means, right? Because I haven't seen. It's relatively recent watching Korean movies like Train to Busan and The Good, the Bad, the Weird, right? And then even in anime, there's this buffoon type character. It's a type of comedy.
Comic relief.
Yeah, but there's a very specific sort of buffoonery that the comic relief does.
Right.
And the guy who plays the dad, who is also in The Good, the Bad, the Weird, does it very well.
Yeah.
He was also in Snowpiercer, but no, he wasn't really that type of character in that movie.
No, he wasn't. What I really enjoyed about this movie was the comic relief was very solid. It had that archetypal buffoonery / shenanigans that I actually noticed in The Good, the Bad, the Weird. Is that
Good, the Bad, the Weird.
The Good, the Bad, the Weird. And the juxtaposition of that and when tragedy strikes, just the seriousness of the situation, how devastated the father is and distraught he is, and how mournful of the potential future he possibly had with his future and with his family. It was very you could tell that was he was a very talented actor.
Oh yeah.
He had very diverse, in his way of expressing himself, and that was just really fucking cool.
The one thing I really enjoyed about the movie, there is the character of the housekeeper's husband that's been locked in the basement of these rich people's house.
In a bunker.
Yeah, for like years at this point to escape debts, right? And he's like, "Oh yeah, every day I send a Morse code message through the lights, telling them my respect for them, and all that." And then
Respecting and praising him.
and then it just cuts to
loving
them
him.
walking up the stairs, being like, "Oh, the light's kind of out, right?"
Right. He goes unnoticed.
Yeah.
It's, again, another piece of symbolism where it's like the poor person escaping debts is so grateful and thankful for this rich person allowing him to stay in this unknown hidden bunker beneath the depths, surviving on canned food or extra meals his wife, the maid at the time, would bring down to him when no one was looking. It just showcases there's a kind of a part of the working class that does this within, South Korea, and I know personally, us in America, there's a lot of people in the working class that are like, "Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Rich Person, for the little pieces of scraps you can give us off your table. Thank you so much," And then the rich person's like, "Oh, that's weird. The light's a little flickery, It's,
Yeah, it's like, Jeff Bezos, some man, he donated like what?
The equivalent of $10.
You donated how much money?
It was $10 million, but when you an average person's salary, right?
Right.
It would be equivalent of like $10.
So yeah, proportionally, it would be like $10.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there was also this running theme where the wealthy dad would, refer to the poor dad. He would be like, he has a weird smell about him.
Yeah. Yeah.
It smells like poor people.
He smells like poor people. You could see it build tension throughout the entire movie, as especially the first scene where they're hiding underneath the table because the wealthy family came home early, and they came.
Oh, yeah.
They had sex.
Yeah.
We're very mature. They had some type of coitus.
Yeah,
I think it was just hands-on.
It was very hands.
While they were hiding, while the rest of them were hiding under the table,
like rats. Very, again, just symbolic of the situation.
Another really good scene is when their house is flooded, right, from the storm.
Right.
And the rock is floating. They're then they're gathering clothes at this shelter that's been set up, this relief shelter, and then going to work because they're called in to work at the rich son's birthday party, right?
Yeah.
So they're literally grabbing clothes from a pile, being told to come into work, right?
And then trying their best to look professional and not bothered by the tragedy that just took place.
While all the rich people are complaining about the placements of the tables.
Yeah. Complaining about the placements of the tables, just faffing about the gifts, about the birthday party. "Oh, you weren't supposed to bring the gift for my son. It was just supposed to be a casual hangout kind of thing." And it just seems like there's just this air of snobbery that's really captured that you can't really see unless you've experienced it in real life. So I think they did that very well.
Yeah. And then the rich dad talking to the poor dad, being like, have more energy. This is my son's party. I'm paying you double, right?
I'm paying you double.
Yeah,
when he just lost his house.
His house and everything he owns, right?
Is destroyed.
No.
Do you remember the relationship of the poor family and the rich family at all, Mike? Do you remember the stark differences between the two relationships of the families?
And you'll have to be specific in what way?
So, just every way the family conducts itself, the rich family's very distant, very hands off. When the
poor family is "Oh, we're getting fucking drunk," and then it's "Fuck you, Dad." It's "Oh,
yeah,
it's my daughter."
Yeah. Right.
Or there was that scene where the daughter forges her, I think it was her college transcript or whatever.
Yeah, her college.
And the dad was like, you could have a future in this.
Yeah, very proud.
Yeah.
Of the forgery.
Yeah.
It's just you can see the tight knitness of the poor family and the staunch difference between the Parks. I remember the Parks, which is the rich family. I can't remember the family's last name for the poor family, which is kind of shitty.
But also, I want to point out that again, spoilers, when the poor daughter gets stabbed, right?
Right.
And then was the bad guy? Can't see it, but I'm doing air quotes there.
Yeah.
Was he taken out before, or was he was taken out, right?
Yeah.
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 He was killed by
The dad.
the dad or the mom. I can't remember. It was very chaotic.
Yeah.
It's been a bit since we watched the movie.
Yeah. But everyone just kind of like there's a handful of people that like kind of help the boy with the asthma attack, but like nobody
Is stopping the bleeding for the woman. Yeah.
Yeah, the rich dad, I think, even was like talking to the poor dad because he didn't know that they were a family. Because the whole point of the movie is that they're pretending to be that they don't know each other to work here.
Exactly.
Being like, I need you to get my son to the hospital as he's having like a panic attack while the poor wife is bleeding to death.
Right. And the daughter also bleeding to death.
I think she was dead at that.
She might have been dead or died.
Died.
No, the mom.
She was
The mom didn't get stabbed, did she?
No, she got cut a few times for sure.
Oh wait, no. I think the mom.
Mom gets off like fine.
I think the mom does get off fine.
The
It's the
daughter
daughter.
gets-
It was the daughter that gets stabbed.
It was the daughter. Yeah.
You fool. You
Yeah.
absolute fool.
I told you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's at the end of the movie when the son is like, when he finds out his dad is living in the bunker of the house that's now abandoned, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Being like, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna apply myself at school. I'm gonna become rich. And I'm gonna buy that house. And it goes to like the flash forward of it happening, right?
Right.
And you're like, that doesn't seem realistic. And then it just cuts back to him in the present day, and you realize like that was just a
poor.
fantasy.
Yeah, it was an entire fantasy.
That's
where
never gonna happen.
He received the message from his father, and while he received that message, he just spun off into a delusion about how he's going to become rich someday, and he's going to ascend the ladder of poverty into the realm of wealth and fortune, and that's not
He
very
did also
likely.
get brain damage, so
Right,
He
he
did
did
have
get
a
severe.
rough
I was surprised he didn't die.
Yeah.
Another great thing about this movie was it was 2 hours long, and it didn't feel like it dragged at any point. Like I didn't feel like, okay, looking at my watch, when the hell is this movie gonna be done and over with? It was just like I was on the edge of my seat. I think you guys remember I was walking around a lot and pacing. I was like, "What the fuck? What's going on?"
Yeah.
Well, during the intense moments, I was really surprised that the son made it. I thought the daughter had a better chance at living. I guess your skull's a lot harder than you might imagine, or maybe the rock was a lot lighter. Maybe
it floats.
It floats, right? So maybe it's not as strong as it, or maybe I don't know. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, I guess the dad kind of is just gonna be cursed to perish in that bunker in that concrete room. Anyway, the room.
Yeah, The Room.
So, second film, The
second
Room.
film, yeah.
Similar quality. Funny enough, The Room and this movie have a very similar budget.
Yeah. They have a similar budget?
Yes, Parasite was 11 million, and then adjusted for inflation, The Room is 9 million.
Wow, that's pretty close.
That's pretty close.
Well, one is significantly better than the other.
Yeah, it's The Room.
Yeah.
The Room, yeah.
The Room made an entire $1,500 at the box office.
Yikes.
I mean, that's not counting like re-showings and stuff since then.
I'm sure since then it's profitable.
Yeah.
It's one movie that you can just, it's a cash cow now because people enjoy it because it's awful.
Yes. So, if you're unfamiliar with The Room and you're wondering why it's paired with this movie,
Made by an alien.
it is. It is made by an alien wanting to live the American lifestyle, right? And
The
make
American Dream.
an American movie by living the American dream, making the American movie he wants to make about a banker in San Francisco. It also has very similar themes of capitalism. Banker in San Francisco, he's marrying his fiancée, and his
Right.
fiancée only wants his money.
Yep.
And her mother is dying from cancer.
Right, and there's nothing they can do about that.
Yeah, and his best friend Mark is cheating with his
Fiance.
I was gonna say cheating on
Tommy
Johnny. No, it's not Tom.
Oh, it's Johnny. Oh, okay.
Johnny is the main character. Like I said, no last names. You
No
have
last
Johnny.
name.
You have Mark.
Yeah.
You have Lisa. You have Denny.
Denny, not Danny.
No, it's Denny.
Denny, like Denny's.
But speaking of capitalism, Denny also in this owes a bunch of money to some sort of drug lord, which I guess is solved.
Right, it gets solved somehow thanks to Johnny. Right?
Johnny helps him. Johnny is kind of what people in the movie Parasite who perceive the rich being,
right,
beneficial and benevolent.
It's the view of the husband of the maid of rich people.
Right.
Right. Tommy, like Johnny, the banker from San Francisco, this is a weird, distorted vision of a crazy person locked away praising a rich person.
Right, because Johnny is that rich person. He's that rich, head of household, and everyone is taking advantage of him.
Yeah.
Right? It's like the alternate reality version of Parasite. In a weird way.
In a very weird way.
But it's like, he's the main character. He is the one that you should be compassionate for, and everyone is taking advantage of him.
Right.
And he lives in a nice house in San Francisco, and it's, very expensive because the doors just connect to different rooms sometimes.
Right.
If you watch, he sometimes goes in one room and comes out another, and then
it's a very expensive
changes sometimes.
McMansion.
He hangs out on the roof, plays football with his friends.
Yeah, you can tell I feel like Tommy Wiseau, the creator, director, writer, and lead actor of The Room, you can I feel like this is his fantasy life of what it would be like to be rich in America.
He spent $9 million of his own money on this
Yeah.
movie. So he was pretty wealthy.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way. I think he owned some sort of company that sold jeans. That was how he made his money.
There you go. Selling jeans.
Yep. But, so yes, the wife cheats on him.
Right.
With his best friend, Mark.
Horrible.
Yes. And then by the end of the movie, Johnny,
doesn't matter.
Johnny
doesn't fucking matter.
Johnny finds out and then kills himself, and then that's it.
That's it?
That's how the movie ends.
Yeah, that's so fucking weird.
They're very similar endings, if you think about it. Very
tragic.
Yep.
That's about it.
That's about it.
They're pretty similar. They're both tragic.
They both showcase different elements of the burdens of capitalism in ways, right?
Yeah. Lisa, Johnny's fiance,
right,
is very greedy. And she's kind of raised to be greedy by her mom, it seems, right? Because the mom's like, he's got a good job, and I'm dying of cancer.
And who's going to take care of you when I'm gone?
Exactly. You need to find someone to take care of you, right? Because that's how you get through this world or whatever, right?
Right. And I guess the lesson to be learned from Parasite was your family unit, whatever that might be, your community, no matter however small, that's who you take care of. That's how you try and help. That's how you try and benefit. And
you don't try and the wealthy benefactor should be doing more than what they're doing, right? Right. But what's important is your family unit.
Right.
Where in The Room, it seems that the family unit of Lisa and her mom trying to take the money from Johnny,
right,
in a malicious way.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
It does, kind of.
And Denny, he's there.
Yeah, he's just a victim of circumstance. He got caught up in drugs or crime because he's poor and he's just trying to go to college.
He's the poor kid from around the block, I guess.
Yeah.
I think he lives in the same neighborhood as Johnny, but I don't know.
He probably got caught up in drugs while he was at college.
Yeah.
I think that's what the storyline is.
Yeah.
I think
so.
vaguely I remember. It's been so long. It's just such a weird movie. I can't remember what you said about the movie. It's as if an alien watched humanity and then tried to make a movie about it.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, it's
Yeah.
like, yes, I know this. You have the couple, and then the tragedy is that one of the couple cheats on them.
Okay.
Has sex with their best friend.
I think this also the reason why it's so foreign and alien in regards to like how everyone's acting is I think this is like a rich person's perspective on what normal people
it
look
is.
like and talk like and act.
Yeah.
Because Johnny, now I think about it, Tommy Wiseau, I fucking fucked it up. I said
Dude,
Johnny
it's
Wiseau.
Tommy
there for a
and
second.
Johnny.
Whatever. Ends with a Y. Who cares?
Ends with an Ami.
Yeah, it ends with an Tommy Wiseau is like you said, he was really wealthy when he spent
Somehow.
he spent $9 million of his own money. That is not like money to sneeze at.
No, that's the...
Like that's a medium-sized business of some variety, pumping out jeans,
And he didn't need
making
to,
a profit.
He didn't need to spend that money.
Yeah,
It was because he shot it both on video and film at the same time.
yeah.
And they were like, why? And he's like, because that's how you make a movie. And they're like, what?
Because that's how you make a movie. It seems like you don't know what you're talking about.
Have you seen The Disaster Artist?
No, I have not.
You should. It's about the making of The Room, but it's with James Franco and all of them. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. Shout out to Amazon.
But we're not talking about the movie. We're talking about The Room.
Yeah, The Room. That's fair. So let's.
This podcast brought to you by.
No.
The Room.
The Room. Ah, that's true. I guess before we continue on our more in-depth analysis and the comparison between The Room and Parasite, we're going to take a quick ad break for one of our sponsors. Thank you so much.
Are you tired of just sitting around? Want something to do in what little free time you have? Do you need an escape from the existential dread you experience due to wealth inequality? Fear no more. We at Leech Incorporated have a brand new prescription for you. Fun! The classic American pastime turned opiate for the masses. Football. Crippling debt? Football. You're worth being measured by the sacrifices you make for someone else's profit? Football. Distract yourself with artificial competition? Football. In the cold embrace of death, there's only football. When we are forgotten about and the whispers of the dying star, there will always be football. Let's meet the void of cosmic infantry at the 50-yard line. Go team!
Welcome back from that short little ad. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We're gonna go just jump right back into it.
There were both really awkward sex scenes in both movies.
Yeah.
So in The Room, there's a sex scene that's just out of nowhere, where it's just like, you must have sex scene in the movie.
That's how it sells.
Yeah.
It sells. Yeah.
And then Tommy Wiseau has sex with that female actress's belly button, basically.
Yeah.
It's very awkward.
Very
and then in
weird.
Parasite, they're hiding underneath the table while the rich family finger each other.
Yeah, and they fantasize about what it's like being poor and
Oh, yeah.
mundane.
That's
right?
true. I forgot about that.
You forgot about that?
They were the whole like fantasy aspect of them being like, oh yeah, I'm like the driver that we fired.
Right, I'm
Yeah,
like the
you're,
driver.
You're one of my whores. Like,
Right. It's like Jesus. I don't know.
the family in Parasite is very morally ambiguous. They've done some shitty things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got a bunch of people fired.
Yeah. It's sort of like a crabs in the bucket kind of thing.
Sure, right?
It's where it's like, if we all just if we work together, we'd get out of the bucket. But instead, you're dragging me down because I'm trying to get out, and you want to get out, and you drag me deeper and deeper.
Yeah, trying to go for
Okay.
shortcuts.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know. We're all in the working class. We all make,
Says you. Oh.
I'm a wealthy banker in San Francisco.
You're a wealthy banker in San Fran. So we get like, I don't know, we fucking pay bills and shit. It's just, I mean, if someone's like, hey, instead of getting paid $15 an hour, or $5 an hour, or $10 an hour. You could get paid $30 an hour or $100 an hour.
But you have to fight another poor person.
You have to fight another poor person, or get that poor person fired. And it's not like in a bad way either. This person will find work.
Yeah,
Eventually, maybe. Possibly.
The way that they were terminated in every single circumstance was like, oh, you don't want to make a big deal about it. Just like let them go quietly, right?
Right.
Say that you can't pay for them anymore or something like that.
Yeah, and the idea is that I guess the only thing that bad would happen is if someone asks about the resignation or rumors spread some way, that could be bad for them. But
also, wasn't the whole thing about the family situation that the economy was like just terrible?
The economy was really bad. There was like a crash from some company. It was like a baking. It was like a baking cake making company or something. I can't quite remember. Because the dad also invested in that company, and the poor dad invested in that company, and the husband of the original housemaid of the Park family invested in that company, and they didn't. The poor family didn't go into too horrible debt, but the husband of the housemaid was like being hunted down by debtors.
Yeah.
Because of the horrible decision he made financially, which wasn't really his fault to begin with, because if you don't have much to invest, or you invest whatever you can, or you make, shady backdoor deals to make loans because you'll think you'll make a lot of money and then it doesn't work out, it's much different based on how wealthy you are, what money you have.
Right. The rocks can float.
The rocks can float. The wealthy can rise above most tragedies, right? It's even after the finishing and closing scene of the movie, the park's the conclusion or ending of the park storyline for the rich family is that their family was slightly traumatized and they moved away and they probably got psychological help.
I don't know, the kid was probably fucked up.
Yeah, the kid was probably fucked
There was
up.
a whole thing where the kid was kind of already had anxiety problems from seeing the guy hiding in the bunker one night when he was downstairs thinking he was a ghost.
Yeah.
And then that dude showed up and stabbed his
his art therapy teacher.
Yeah.
Which
so that kid's probably fucked up, right?
Yeah, I think that also kind of be some
didn't
symbolism
the
there.
Rich dad die too? Yeah, the rich dad was killed too.
I don't think so.
He was killed by poor dad.
Oh yeah, he was killed by poor dad.
Yeah.
For him.
Yeah.
I don't know. This movie's clearly like the embodiment of a class struggle.
I mean, yeah.
And it's like obvious.
Right.
Like just looking at it, someone can say, "Oh, it's rich phobia," and it's richest.
Man, I don't see what was wrong with the rich people. They were the good people in that movie. They let that poor person stay in the basement.
They let that poor person stay in the basement.
I mean, that is a running theme between both movies. Is
Someone
they
stay in
let
the
the poor
basement?
people live in the basement in Parasite, and then Johnny just lets Denny into his house.
Yep, just gives him a free place to stay. He defeats the.
And then Denny's like, "Hey, y'all having sex in here? Can I join?" And he's like, "Oh, Denny,
Oh, Denny.
go."
Oh boy.
I wonder. Listen. When it comes to the room, I want to know Chris R's story.
Who?
The guy shaking down Denny for drug money. The only one with kind of a last name.
Yeah.
His name is Chris R.
No, it's just Chris R. Chriser.
Chriser.
No, it's Chris Dash R.
Dash R.
That's his gangster name.
Yes.
That's his gangster name. His street name.
Listen, that's how that's how the people in the streets. That's how they do the gang names, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
They just put an R on their name.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
They hold the gun sideways.
Speaking of which, put your switchblade away.
Oh yeah, listen, shut up. You don't know me. You don't know my past.
Calm down, Chris R.
Calm down, Chris R.
Chriser.
I don't know, man. I just can't stop gushing about the Parasite movie. Like, it's so good. I completely forgot that it was like 2 hours long.
Yeah.
evaded my mind until we started talking about it, and you knocked some cobwebs loose. I was like, oh shit, it's 2 hours long.
Yeah.
A lot goes on in that movie.
It does. It's very well paced, like you said before, Mike, earlier.
That being said, though, there is no, like, 3-minute sequence of them playing football throughout San Francisco.
Yeah, that's what's missing from Parasite, is them taking a trip to San Francisco to toss a football around.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's because they're probably not American.
Yeah.
If they were in America, they'd be tossing that.
I'm sure there was a sports ball scene somewhere in that.
There was
in
soccer,
Parasite.
wasn't there? There was a soccer ball. There was a soccer ball. The young park boy played with a soccer ball inside the house.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Also, speaking of the park boy, right?
Right.
What's with the obsession with the Native Americans?
I don't know. Maybe it's because they're like brave warriors and
I mean, he is part of the Cub Scouts, but like, that's not really
what they're
part
about.
of the Cub Scouts, though.
I think
that's
it's
more of the Boy Scouts and like the.
It is kind of interesting when you mention it. It is interesting that like his big jam, right, is about like camping and survival and roughing it while being the richest person in the film.
Right. It's fun to rough it.
It's fun to
exciting
pretend to
and
be poor. Like,
it's an advantage.
it's
or
fun to
adventure,
pretend
rather.
to be like Native Americans because they're roughing it.
Yeah, they're brutal and savage, in the way that they rough it.
How fun!
How fun! Yeah, I don't know. It just clearly highlights how rich people view certain aspects of poor life as like a exotic, adventurous fantasy. I think that's what's been highlighted over and over and over again with the Park family and how.
And don't forget Johnny.
And Johnny
playing
as well.
Football.
Johnny playing football.
Poor people play football.
Poor people play football. Just
not even play; they just throw the ball back and forth.
They stand in a circle and they throw it amongst each other.
That is not how you do that.
That's one of those scenes where I'm like, this was filmed by an alien.
Yeah.
They stand in a circle and they throw the ball.
Yes, it's a ritual of sorts.
Yes.
They
go to store, they buy flowers for the loving wife.
And they have a dog on the counter.
Yeah. And
what?
An animal.
Oh.
Oh, hi, doggy.
Oh, yeah, that's...
You're my favorite customer.
You're my favorite customer. Does he say I know or some shit like that? I feel like...
It was a weird...
I'm pretty sure he does
I'm pretty sure the way the interaction goes, just off the top of my head, he goes, I'd like a dozen roses, please. Oh, hi, Johnny. I didn't recognize it was you. Hey, doggy. That'll be $12. Thank you. Keep the change. Like that is not how you do anything.
Right. I honestly think it's like a rich person's perspective on the normal life.
Yeah.
And normal for Tommy Wiseau is being a banker in San Francisco.
I mean, I don't know. According
what
to...
kind of banker? Is he a bank teller? Like, you know what I mean?
He works at the bank.
He works at the bank.
And he is recently promoted.
Okay, so he could be like the bank manager. What's going on over there? You okay, bud? Your brain's starting to hurt from trying to think about the room?
Listen, first off, just the room in general just hurts to my head. Like, bad movies, it's just horrible. It's a horrible experience, but it's like, I gotta do it for you guys.
Gotta torture myself for you.
But,
because we're not even done yet. We still have... Did you see the list of horrible movies we have to watch?
Yes.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited too. Because... Boy, shucks, howdy, or you're gonna be...
Yeah. When was the last time either of you, said keep the change?
Never. My tax return came in, and I felt super... I got a coffee, and it was like $2 or $3. I'm like, you can keep the change, and that's it.
I don't know. There's sometimes where I'm it's like, oh, it's $2.85, and I have like $3, and I give them, I'm like, cool, thanks. I'm like, you want to change? I'm like, nah.
It's 15 cents. Yeah, stuff like that. I think Johnny handed the flower lady like a $20 bill or like a $50 or some crap like that. I don't even remember, but it seemed like a lot of money. It was like a wad of cash.
What a weird scene that is, because it has nothing to do with anything besides showing that he buys flowers.
Yeah, and the following shot is him driving, isn't it?
No, he doesn't
what is
drive
it?
in the movie. I think he jumps on the like, not the cable car, but like
The tran?
the like
Electronic trolley thing?
and then he goes home and he gives the flowers, but it's like, why?
Not everybody likes flowers, Johnny.
You know, it's gotta. You know, it's like Lord of the Rings, right? You know, you gotta have all those travel shots of them walking through the nice scenery, and then you.
It is just like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Wait, when did The Room come out?
And, you know, for at the end, you know, he just kills himself.
I think it was like mid-2000.
Mid-2000? Did Lord of the Rings come out
Before? That's a good question. Was Lord of the Rings inspired by The Room?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's... Who knows?
Who knows?
The book, written way back in...
Was George R.L. No.
No, it's...
J.R.L. Tolkien?
Yeah, it's...
J.R.
J.R.A.F.K. choking.
Choking on his name.
Chris R.R. Tolkien met Johnny in World War One because Johnny's an immortal being.
He's an immortal alien that
Wait, Tommy, fuck.
Oh, shit.
No, back then he was called Tommy. He was...
Yeah. What are you trying to say, Johnny? You fucking fool.
Yes, I was.
Oh, that peaked the audio. We're gonna have to fix that first. No, but it's just...
I'm just saying, we talked a lot about Parasite. We've not talked a lot about The Room.
That's
that being
true.
said, there's not a lot to talk about The Room.
It's hard. The Room is painful to sit through.
I don't
unlike
know.
The Parasite.
I don't know about that.
I remember being shit-faced out of my mind, us all gathered around that tiny little hotel TV and watching The Room.
I wasn't there.
You weren't there. I'm sorry about that. Okay, next time. But
I've seen The Room like twice since then.
I've seen it maybe twice. Maybe we showed it to Suki or somebody else.
Eh.
But besides the point, every time I watch it, I'm like, whether we're doing it on like an online conference or in real life, I'm just so fucking bored. I get up multiple times. I don't care. It's so painful to go through. The only enjoyable aspects of watching the movie...
It's how fucking weird some of the scenes are.
Yeah, how fucking weird the scenes are, how bad the movie is, and
There's been worse movies. I want to point...
Absolutely.
It is not the worst movie ever made. It is just sometimes the most bizarre movie where you're like, why?
They're
Name a worst movie right now.
Shark Exorcist.
Shark Exorcist.
Name another bad movie.
Clownado.
Is that one that's supposed to be bad?
Velocipaster.
I'm pretty sure...
Oh, wait, okay,
those are
those
like...
are purposely bad.
Purposely bad.
Okay, so that doesn't count.
That does not count. When it's like the dance choreography of the Red Jedi Sith Knights in what was it?
The
Last Jedi.
That's
Where they just kind of just dance around and then they just walk off screen.
yeah. When you look at anyway, but that's unrelated.
It's kind of like that kind of bad.
Bad by accident.
Yes.
Okay.
I was gonna say it's that kind of bad because when you first see that in Star Wars, you don't realize it, but when you keep watching it, you go, "Wait a minute."
Yeah.
Wait. No.
Yeah, it's just...
Well, when you watch The Room the first time, you're like, "Oh no."
Oh no, it's bad. It's really bad. I think the popularity of The Room killed
Samurai Cop's also bad.
genuine...
Samurai Cop.
Correct.
I think...
We'll add it to the list.
Okay, we'll add it to the list. But I think The Room and the popularity of The Room killed all genuine it's so good it's bad like movies. Now all those movies are made bad on purpose.
You can't do that, which is unfortunate. Like, there's a lot of people who do that. It's like, no, you're missing. No,
Well, like
That's the Sci-Fi Channel's like movies in general. It's like
I don't know. There's some Sci-Fi Channel movies that are just bad.
yeah, they're
Ice
just
Spiders
bad.
is bad.
I don't know. I mean, like most of them are like, man, we're doing this really shittily, and it's like,
Now, I don't know, man. There's some that genuinely think they're doing it well. Like I said, Ice Spiders, right? Or like those movies that need to be bad on accident, right?
Right.
So like, excuse me, Samurai Cop, where the people who are making it are like, man, this is gonna be fucking awesome, and then the movie comes out and you're like, oh god.
Yeah, it's rough. I don't know. That's just how you can tell there's such a staunch difference between The Room and Parasite. Is like I was saying previously, is that it's just Parasite is double the length of the room and easier to sit through than the room, in my opinion.
Is
Like,
it double the length of the room?
It's how long is the room?
That's a good
Look
question.
it up. Look it up. We'll riff here for a bit. It's just I felt like the room was just someone driving stakes through my nails. You know,
It's an hour and 40 minutes.
the room's an hour and 40 minutes long.
Has a 9% on Metacritic.
It feels like it's double that length.
Yeah, it feels like I'm being my soul's being tormented for centuries. Is what it feels like.
There's a lot of bad horror movies.
Oh yeah, but
We're gonna watch them all.
yes, eventually. And there are things about Parasite that do kind of make it a thriller, right? It's like a subgenre of horror.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a thriller because
thriller.
there's a lot of intense like emotions and stakes at times.
Yeah. Another good thing about the Parasite is there's consequences and stakes. You know, it's a weird, like, there's conflict. There's a lot of different things happening what feels like all at once. You know, if things don't work out, it feels like there's consequences. Comparatively to The Room, everything works out except for the big tragic end for Johnny where he kills himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no weight to that. It's just a random act that just happens kind of out of nowhere to me.
Well, he finds out that Greg.
He wants them to be happy. No, it's Mark.
It is Mark.
Yeah.
Greg is the name of the
Who
actor.
hell- Oh, Greg's the name of the actor?
Yes.
How do you know this?
Don't worry about it.
He's watched
Alright.
The Room. He sits in a dark room watching The Room while we're at work.
Listen, me and Tommy are similar
You
species.
mean Johnny, right?
Johnny.
No, Tommy.
Oh, God.
But like, he finds out that Mark and Lisa are having an affair, and
He wants them
that's
to be
what-
happy together, or he wants them to regret it or something. I can't remember.
He was just mad.
He was just mad.
He threw a bunch of stuff around his bedroom, and then he smells Lisa's dress, and then he shoots himself in the head.
Yeah, so that's not how that works.
No, not really.
Most times. That's just another weird, unrealistic expectation of what would actually happen there. You know what I mean?
Yes, suicide. I know how that works among humans.
Yeah. God, awful movie.
And then I guess Mark and Lisa live happily ever. I don't really
Yeah,
know.
they seem to be at his funeral and cry a
He
little
didn't.
bit.
I don't think he has
Did
it.
he
I
have
think
it?
it literally just cuts to credits.
It just
after
cuts
his
to
death.
credits?
Pretty sure it does.
Yeah.
That's so awful. It's so awful. And that's why I like the Parasite so much, because it's so good. It's not... It's just... It's like a nice, neat little package with a beautiful bow, and when you open it up, it's the gift you've always wanted, that you didn't know you want.
No.
The Room is like someone left just a 4-year-old's attempt at gift wrapping out in the rain for 3 days and then throw it at you while you're eating breakfast. Just chucks it straight in your face. And
That's a strangely specific analogy there.
listen, you're just relaxing, chilling, eating your breakfast, and this soggy, mushy package just hits you right in the face.
And you open it up and you're like, thanks. You know, it kind of has some like value to it if you like show your friends, being like, look at this.
It's nice. Thank
Look at
you.
this.
Thank
Hey.
you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really nice. Thank you.
Also, like, I really like downer endings because, like, I don't feel like there's enough downer ending. It's usually like, oh, and then the hero gets the girl at the end or something
Or
like
they
that.
live happily ever after.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, no. It highlights the reality of being poor
Yeah.
in the Parasite, where it's like, yeah, he is trying to achieve an unachievable task.
And this is like a good way to tell, like, how you do a good downer ending and how you do, like, a bad downer ending.
Right.
You know, like, you do it like The Room, you don't do it like Parasite.
They both leave a lot open, right?
I
But
mean the opposite. You do it.
No, I mean it exactly like that.
No, no. I need to. So you meant to say you do the downer ending like the Parasite, not like The Room.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify because
I
that's
mean, they both leave a lot open to the imagination, right? Because you never know if Mark and Lisa
have a happy ending.
have a happy ending, ever end up together, or if they were just screwing over Johnny. But when Parasite also open-ended, because you know what his plan is,
Right.
but there's the stark reality that you're like, yeah, he's not going to achieve that.
He's never going to achieve that. Not in a million years. Not with his criminal background. Not with all the rumors swirling around him. Not with his potential brain damage.
Yeah.
Not with half the income that they originally had.
Right.
It's just him and the mom now.
Yeah. They have to somehow make ends meet, and they're probably living in a crappy, way worse situation than living in that.
And they're living
half
in the same
basement.
one.
Yeah, they're living
They live in the same
place.
one. How?
It's drained.
Oh, they
Yeah.
drained it finally. That's good.
They're probably going to go back to folding pizza boxes like they were at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Man, remember at like the beginning of the movie where it's like, oh yeah, just leave the windows open while they're fumigating the streets so we can get in here.
And get free bug
Yeah.
Yeah.
fumigation.
Ironically, like, the poor people in that movie are kind of smarter than the rich people.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
Craftier. Like, the plan they come up with is incredibly intricate, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like when you're poor, you have a lot more like, if I take this dollar and I do this with it, I can get $2 out of it.
Right.
Whereas it's like,
I think
I was ask my parents and be like, hey, can I just have like $2?
Yeah, I think they even say, like, the rich mom is, like, kind of a bimbo, right?
Very cloudy, up in the clouds, space cadet kind of person.
Yeah.
It's the relationship seems kind of political in a way, or like anytime, I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier, but the first time Mr. Park was asked, "Do you love your wife?" he really struggled with that answer. Like, he genuinely, it took him, like, you could tell, it took him a few seconds to say.
Did he say something weird, like, she's a great mother or something like
Yeah,
that?
he said some weird, like, non-confirming, like, affirmative answer in the vague sense of, yeah, she's okay, I guess.
I mean, it's probably a whole thing of like, keep appearances, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to like, have someone raise the children.
Yeah, and she doesn't even raise the kid. The freaking maid does that. And then in the middle of the movie, the maid and the art therapist raise the kid.
Speaking of which, art therapist?
Well, there is.
That's something rich people would pay for.
I mean, to be fair, there are. I mean, not to discount the school of thought of art therapy, because
Right.
I'm not well read up on it, but there is some merit to it. I'm not sure how much, but there is some.
And to be fair, it is for like a 5-year-old, so
Right.
I guess that would be a good way to like
Get them to talk about stuff that affects them.
Yeah.
Also, like, the poor family, there was no keeping of appearances, right? Like, the wife occasionally will just, like, punch the husband.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
but you're like,
it's
they
very
love each other.
Yeah, they love each other. It's very genuine. It's like, it's just there's no keeping up of appearances or facade, like you said, and it's just there's a beauty to it, even though it's kind of, like you said, violent.
Yeah. What? Between the it was a punt. It's more like a shoulder punch.
It's just still there was a hit or something. It's not like violent, like she smacks him around or something. I'm just saying, like, there is violence involved.
Yeah.
Listen.
And they get drunk with their kids.
Yeah, they get drunk with their kids. It's
like,
very
fuck
casual.
This.
Yeah. They all share in each other's pain, like, because that's how they cope with being so just fucking poor.
Yeah.
It's rough.
And then in the room,
They throw a basketball. I mean, a football.
It's a
Shit.
football.
It's a football.
but like Lisa and Johnny,
Yeah.
at least Lisa tries to keep up appearances to make it seem like a very happy relationship, while
Yeah.
Johnny is just kind of ignorant that she's a terrible person.
And she
I guess
doesn't
she's
love him anymore, or
yeah.
she's
There's
unhappy.
there is the line where she says, "I don't know if I love Johnny anymore."
Yeah, and it seems to me that Mark was treating her kind of nice or better than Johnny was.
Johnny was treating her well, but like I guess
like
financially.
Yeah,
right?
financially, but maybe there's some other needs that weren't met.
Like
intimately, not like sex, but
like human emotions.
Yeah, human emotions. One an alien doesn't
Experience.
possess.
Yeah, experience on this planet.
Experience on this planet we call Earth. Just another aspect of the Park family that's like another. It's like they're so the way they interact with each other is very foreign and alien sometimes. You know, it's very standoffish.
Yeah.
Also, like, I want to point out that you can fully watch Parasite without looking at all this, like, symbolism and stuff and still enjoy the movie.
Oh, yeah. You don't need to be a movie prick like the rest of us.
Yeah, you don't have to, like, oh, look at the symbolism of the rock floating, or look how they live below ground, like, they're, you know, this hierarchy of, you know, whatever. It's just a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a solid movie to watch and enjoy.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need to enjoy the deeper meaning or the artistry.
Yeah,
of
sometimes
it
you can
all.
just look at the colors and be like, oh,
Artistry.
pretty colors.
Yeah, pretty colors, you know, funny.
But if you're one of those people that's like, why isn't it in English? Shut up.
Yeah, if you... oh, God, that's what...
Man,
Talk
The
about
Room
that.
is barely in English, but people watch that.
Yeah, exactly.
I got it right here.
Yeah, read it.
Bong Joon-ho, when he accepted his first
Oscar?
Oscar of the night,
Right.
he's like, once you overcome the 1-inch tall barrier of subtitles, you'll be introduced to so many more amazing films.
That's
Which
is
is
a salient point.
100% true.
Right. Don't... Why? Why? Just read the subtitles.
Like, okay, like, we all watched anime, right?
Right.
Like, at some point, I mean, at least, like me personally, right? It's like, I only watch dub. I don't want to watch sub because it's just...
The reading or whatever.
It's like, I want to hear it in English. It's like... And then one day it's like, I'll just watch this in Japanese, and it's like...
Because I wanted the latest episode.
Yeah, it's like, it's yeah, it's good. Like, sometimes you even get more from, like, the subtitle version than you do from, like, the dub.
Right.
So...
I only watch it in Japanese without subtitles.
Yeah, bullshit.
I don't know what the fuck's happening.
No, I just think that they're like Pan's Labyrinth. That's a Guillermo del Toro movie, and that's in Spanish, I believe.
I believe it is in Spanish.
And
We should watch that at some point.
oh, absolutely.
I don't know what we'll pair with Hellboy.
No.
They're both Guillermo del Toro movies.
No, we'll talk about.
Can I pick a good movie to go with that?
Yeah, Pan's Labyrinth is a good movie.
Listen,
Yeah.
I've seen, like, 3 Quentin Tarantino No, wait. What was his name?
Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, and they're...
You didn't like Pacific Rim?
Okay, no, stop with the Pacific
was-
Rim bullshit.
That was Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
Guillermo del Toro.
Wait, then who made the lady with the zombie movie in Texas? She has, like, a
That's
machine gun?
Robert Rodriguez.
That's Robert Rodriguez.
He makes bad movies. I'm just saying that.
No,
Anyway, back on
you know what?
topic.
They're campy. Let's
That's fair.
side note. It doesn't matter. You know.
It's like you also like Shape of Water too.
Yeah, Shape of Water.
Yeah, okay, I take it back.
Okay, you're thinking Robert Rodriguez.
You're thinking
I
of
was
Robert,
thinking about Robert Rodriguez.
which is
Guillermo del Toro is a great...
director.
So anyway, it's Spy Kids 3D
No.
and Shark Boy versus Lava Girl.
That's horrifying. I hate that movie.
You don't want to see CGI
But
George Lopez face.
But
robot.
I do know the movie that we're gonna pair Shape of the Water with, Shark Boy and Lava Girl. It's
Sure.
perfect. But anyway, thank you guys so very much for joining us.
What's our next movie going to be?
Our next movie pairing will probably be It and Clown-nado. So get ready for that.
It Chapter 1, right?
Yeah, It Chapter
Okay.
1. We'll do It Chapter 1. 'cause
Chapter 2 is not very good.
Chapter 2, not very good.
It's okay.
But thank you guys so much for joining us and listening to the podcast One Movie Too Many. We will be posting
Who won?
this...
You decide.
Who won?
Let us know in the comments below.
Bye!